Welcome back to Pinnacle Drilling with Gordo Suzuki. Last week, Logan had created a video on the horizontal mill, and we're continuing on from there as we do usually. We try to make a lathe video and a mill video week for week. It's kind of been the trend for it. So today I'm kind of doing more of like a method video that I'm starting off with making a pretty big, long crossover. It's a 2 3/8 IF by 88.9 millimeter clem. It's kind of like a rope thread. It's box by box. My material supplied is a 3.5 OD raw 4140 by 2-inch ID, and we're looking at about 34 inches long. And my approach for this job is to put the material between centers on the CNC. So probably about a year ago, I made this little center for the chuck side so that I can do jobs like this. It's a 4-inch OD, 4.5 up here, and just your typical 30-degree angle that I'm going to use for my my chuck center. So right now, I already have my jaws aligned for that 4-inch OD, and I just kind of place it in there like that, close to the shoulder, clamp it, and from there I have my tailstock center, which I'm going to bring closer as I do this setup, and you guys will see this all sort of come together as I go along. So it's going to be a bit of a setup today. So this is my material provided, 3.5 OD, raw OD by 2-inch ID and 34 inches overall length, 4140 heat stress relieved. So I'm just going to place this down here to get my tailstock ready on the inside. So my tailstock is quite a bit back, so I got to open all this up to drag it forward and set the length for it. So for those of you that have never seen this, my turret can obviously go the amount of Z distance within the machine's limits, right? So, and that means that a tailstock, either some of them are programmable or some of them are manual and you have to move them and bolt them down. So this is kind of what I'm doing is right here you'll see this circle, and then there's a pin right here that I'm able to pull in and out. And when I bring my turret over and line that up so it slides in, now I'm able to drag my turret, or sorry, my tailstock to the desired distance that I need. So my real overall length, my blueprint is 34 inches. But my material is coming in at 34.5, so lots of material to face off. So over here, I need to hit 34.5. So by eye, that was 31, so we're close. Okay, pull that down. Grab my fucking trusty wrench. And there's these 2 bolts on this side and there's 2 bolts on the other. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten those. The ones on the front, I typically give them a little bit of a hit. Give them a little extra snug. There you go. We got the two other bolts right here. It might be a little dark for you, but these ones here, I just pull them as tight as I can by hand. On the Akuma, in the settings, I actually have to change it to from chuck work to center work. When it's in chuck work, it means that the tailstock is disabled. It's not in activity at all, and I have to make it active just by cursoring over onto it and saying center. And I'm just going to dry fit this to make sure that it all goes in, which it does. Cool. Once again, I talked briefly in the beginning that the method I'm going to do to this is I'm going to machine the OD between centers, just because the OD is coming in raw at 3.5, and I just want to make the ID concentric to it. I have a better chance of it cleaning up doing it this way. I mean, in terms of machining, the OD is concentric to the ID, and those are good things. So that's what my method for just getting the OD turned right now is. I made this center here, which you guys have seen, your typical tailstock center, and from here, I'm going to go for it. I did crank up the tailstock pressure to 2,000 PSI. A lot of the times I just use 1,000 for typical end support, but when you're machining between centers, you know, just a little bit more power is kind of needed. So yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and write a quick turning program and touch off and do the damn thing. As you can see, the cleanup is really close. So, but I mean, it's better if I did it this way than had a bunch my material chucked all the way up to here and some support. It probably wouldn't even clean up like this. So when I run the finishing pass, hopefully it gets rid of a lot of that. All right, so as you can see, it didn't get a full cleanup. I'm able to go down a little bit more and still hit the same tolerance. I'm at 3.495, and the tolerance on this is 2 decimal places, so I got plus or minus 15, so I can go a little bit more. But this is a good section of cleanup and will benefit my work holding for next time. And the OD and the ID are concentric to each other. That's the main thing here, is machining between centers on a CNC. So yeah, it's very simple. unlike the manual, you know, on the manual, the tailstock, it only has a screw and you can only take like 30 thou cuts. When you crank that thing over there, the tailstock up to 2,000 PSI, I can take 1/4 inch cuts at 20 thou per rev, sometimes even a little higher. It works really well. So if you've ever wondered how to true up a shaft along the whole OD without doing it in 2 sections, and you want to do it all in one, this is a good way to do it. Make your own center, great for the chuck, and just use your typical ordinary tailstock center, and away she goes. Write a program and you're off to the races. So yeah, once again, thank you for viewing our videos. Thank you for always commenting and liking, and I hope you guys get enjoyment out of them, because I will say I like how it's made, like the video or like the TV program, and you know, machining is pretty cool and not a lot of people get to see it, so showing some practice on the internet you know, goes a long way for other people. So once again, thanks for viewing.